taking on the pinball machine y'all are getting.
Austin Jaggers, my man.
How you doing, Greg?
Love you, brother.
I love you, dude.
Yep. For a long time.
You're a special human in my life.
I want to let everyone know about you. You're my favorite arm wrestler, and I've said that in other interviews before, so I'm not blowing smoke or anything. But I want everybody to know your story and just to get to know just like the basics about you.
Well, born and raised in Louisville.
Start there.
I just didn't know the basics of where we were going, but from Louisville, went to Holy Cross, which is in Louisville. Played college ball at Eastern Kentucky University, Richmond, Kentucky.
Very cool.
Yeah, between West Virginia and Lexington.
Yeah.
So, but I played ball there, had an opportunity to go pro, tried out for the 49ers and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nice. Did the combine for them and did well. And then that all kind of fell through. Got into MMA.
Yeah.
After that, it fell through. I wasn't big enough, wasn't strong enough.
All right.
So we just find people
Bigger,
from
stronger,
other.
faster.
I was from EKU, man.
Right.
You know, there was a lot of better athletes out there.
Right.
And so then got into MMA. I wrestled for 6 years, like 6th grade, all the way to high school, senior high school. Did MMA, that was awesome. Only had one fight, so undefeated.
Still undefeated.
Yeah,
I love it.
undefeated.
What's your height, weight, and age?
Okay, so I'm 33, 6'2", 290 pounds.
290, baby.
290.
All muscle.
I wish.
All right, now this is kind of a silly question for me, but are you a pro or you're amateur?
I'm a pro.
Now, how long have you been pro?
I have been pro for 7 years. I've been arm wrestling for 8 years.
Oh, man.
Kind of shot myself in the foot my first year arm wrestling.
Well, what got you into arm wrestling?
My buddy Josh Rose saw a poster one time and it said, "Enter your strongest friend in an arm wrestling competition." And it was in Owensboro, Kentucky.
Was that your first match?
That was what led to my first tournament.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Owensboro, Kentucky. Went there. It was arm wrestling world or was it WAL? The World Wrestling League tournament, and it was held in Owensboro. And I ended up going against a guy named Brock Kovich, never forget. I came second in the tournament.
Nice.
And the guy I had lost to had been pulling for years, 20 years plus. And I never forget, he came to me and was like, "How long have you been pulling?" And I was like, "Oh, this is my first tournament ever." And he was like, "Oh, bullshit." Pretty much called me a liar. And then I got to pull him about 2 years later.
Nice.
But he's a good guy. I like Brock Kovich. He sees this. He's a good dude. He taught me a lot. Now, he gave me my first smacking.
Nice. Well, we all got it. But are you right-handed or left-handed?
It's hard to say. I don't even know. I'd say I'm more right-hand dominant, but I'm strong with both.
That's what I was going to say. What do you prefer? Do you have a better winning record with one?
I think they're both pretty good.
Well, pretty good in my
both
opinion.
stout.
What do you want to accomplish in your arm wrestling career?
I would tell you what, you can be ranked pretty high and still not have any money.
Right.
So I just think, and it's not the money, I love the sport, obviously. I've been doing it for 8 years, and I haven't made too much, but I'll make some in spurts. But my goal would be just to grow my name and grow the groups that I'm a part of as well. Like Caliber Arm Wrestling. But I would love to just grow myself, my YouTube, my Instagram. And that way I could start possibly doing this as, making a living, doing this full time. And I enjoy it. I know that, man. That you have helped a lot.
You're my favorite arm wrestler. I'll say it again. So if you're on the table right now, Austin, and you had your drugs, you had your setup, what's your point? Would you top roll? Would you hook? Would you press?
Okay, when I first arm wrestled, it was hook. And I went through a phase where I like hooking because I wasn't confident going into my top roll right off the bat. And I started top rolling everybody. I ended up winning Arnold with the top, which is top rolling everyone.
Yeah.
Didn't even have to use a hook. And now I'm back into this hook phase again. So it's hard to say. I like my step one, I would say plan A would be top roll, plan B would be hook, plan C would be press. I do not like pressing. But I will do it if I have to.
I hurt when I press.
It hurts everything up here. It hurts my my collarbone and everything attached here. It doesn't hurt my elbow that much, but it hurts everything up here. I can feel my collarbones Preston Derek Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That
2
was
weeks
my
such a
favorite
splatter.
match of yours.
Really?
The Derek Smith match.
Really?
Unbelievable. It was the biggest comeback. I was on the
And
edge
it was-
of my seat.
yeah.
I was screaming and yelling at the TV. It was awesome.
Dude, good deal. I'm glad you got into that. That's for me.
Oh my God, that must have been scary, man.
Dude.
But you made it. You did it. You pulled through. You didn't miss out.
No.
That's right. So, you know who my favorite arm wrestler is? Who's your favorite arm wrestler?
Man, I would almost have to say, well, of course it's Mike West. But if we're talking,
No.
stars though,
No,
I know, but Mike knows what I'm talking about.
A six-pointed
When I
star.
first got into arm wrestling,
Yeah.
it was because of Travis Page.
Yeah.
Travis Page is who I saw pulling John. John Brzezinski I knew was that, but Travis Page was like this young and up and coming. At the time I got into arm wrestling, because I watched it in 2009. When Pulling John first came out, when I was in high school my senior year, I watched Pulling John, and I told myself, like, dude, if I don't go to the NFL, and then of course MMA came between that,
Right.
but because I wrestled.
Right.
But it was like because I had watched Game of Arms in college.
Yep.
That was my senior year in college. Game of Arms come out. Travis was still destroying. So I was like, dude, I want to beat this guy. And then me and Travis, we're bros now, man. He's a boy. I like Travis. I love him.
Well, how often? I mean, you talk about MMA, you talk about football, you talk about all these different things of sports. For arm wrestling, do you do a certain kind of training? And not only just for arm wrestling, but training in general. Do you have something?
Oh, yeah.
How often?
Let's see. Used to, whenever I consistently trained. During football, I lift, 4-3, 4 times a week. Cardio, probably 3 times a week. Sometimes, I was going to say 3 days. But for arm wrestling, I like to keep my upper body very strong. I still stretch my legs, and I'll still do squats and deadlifts, but overall upper body, shoulders still, chest, back. But for arm wrestling, and I would do those 3 times a week. So I would usually do chest and thighs on a Monday. Then I would do back and buys on a Wednesday, and then I would probably do shoulders and upper chest on Friday.
Right.
And then repeat that cycle. And then, now, whenever I started arm wrestling, that was after football because I wasn't so worried about my leg. It was more of just hand and wrist control. Hand and wrist control, and then I never did curls my entire life. Never had any reason to do curls. Didn't do curls during college football.
Wow.
Didn't do curls ever. And then I finally started curling in arm wrestling. It was really strong.
Well, I know your legs are strong too because we raced. I don't know if you remember that. And
Was I quick?
you almost beat me.
Oh, yeah.
You almost
It was
beat me.
that in the field?
Yeah, we did a 40-yard
Yeah,
dash.
yeah. Well, you're quick.
I swear to God, I
What did
won
you
by
run
like a
before?
nose. By like a
You
nose.
know?
No, it was full 5.
Yeah, see, the fastest one I've ever ran is a 4.68.
Yeah,
But I would say right now, I'd be lucky to crack 5 flat.
That's right. We did not run a 4.4 the other day.
No, he ran a 4.8 and I ran a 5.1.
Probably. That's probably more like it. Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun. But I got one more question for you because this is important. You've been to a lot of awesome tournaments. What's your favorite tournament?
Man, you know what? They kind of fluctuated throughout life. At the beginning, it was all the ones that finished in Kellogg Arena. They were just cool. For one, the whole town smelled like Kellogg's cereal.
Hey, nice.
So it was like cinnamon. It wasn't cinnamon toast crunch, but it was just like corn flakes.
Right.
It smelled sweet and good, and those were cool. I know Mike West loved those as well, so I always enjoyed going to those. And then, actually, Ben just announced on Facebook that he's not having them anymore. But I really liked the ones that were in. The one we just had.
Somerset?
Battleground. Battleground.
Yeah.
I like the Battleground.
Battleground
because
is amazing.
those were cool and they were just local. I didn't have to drive very far. But I would almost have to say probably the Michigan one, but my favorite one ever was. Man, it's hard to say. Arnold's and then the one I did against Lockwood. Even though I got smacked.
You can have 2.
I got two.
You can have 2.
But I got smacked against Lockwood, but it was on a Major League Baseball field, a minor league baseball field, on the Jumbotron. I got smacked.
Oh, no.
But it
Right.
happens. You know you're good when you're losing on Jumbotron.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. For sure. Well, thanks for doing this interview with me,
No
Austin.
problem,
I
man.
appreciate you,
You
brother.
know, I'd love
Bring it
to.
in.
Yeah.
Let's go arm wrestle.
Yes.